What really backs the money in your pocket? Is it gold, government promises, or nothing at all? The truth is, the very nature of money changed fundamentally in 1971, and understanding that shift is key to understanding everything about today's economy. Welcome to Historic Economics, where today we unlock the core difference between fiat currency and gold-backed money. For most of modern history, much of the world operated on what was known as the gold standard. Imagine this. Every paper dollar, every pound, every franc was essentially a receipt. It was a promise for a specific amount of physical gold held securely in a government's vault. In theory, you could walk into a bank and exchange your paper for the real thing. This created what many called sound money. Why? Because governments couldn't just print money whenever they felt like it. Their currency supply was directly limited by how much gold they actually possessed. Think about that for a second. The amount of new money entering the system was tied to the slow, difficult process of mining gold from the earth. This physical limitation had a profound effect. It led to incredible stability in prices over long periods. Sure, there were ups and downs, but the kind of persistent year-after-year inflation we see today was much, much rarer. Why? Because the money itself was scarce, just like the gold it represented. People had faith in the currency because they knew it had tangible, intrinsic value. It wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a claim on a real, valuable, and universally recognized asset. This system anchored the global economy, providing a bedrock of stability that influenced everything from international trade to personal savings. The value of your savings wasn't just a number on a screen. It was tied to a physical reality. But everything changed. Fast forward to today. The money in your wallet, the numbers in your bank account, it's fiat currency. The word fiat is Latin for it shall be or let it be done. It's a powerful name because it means the money has value purely because the government decrees it. There's no gold, no silver, no basket of commodities backing it up, nothing physical. So, what gives it value? It's a fascinating question. Its value is based entirely on trust. It's a shared social agreement. You have faith that the government will accept it for taxes, and more importantly, you have faith that other people will accept it from you in exchange for goods and services. It's a network effect of belief. This shift from a gold-backed system to a fiat system gives central banks and governments immense flexibility and power. Is the economy struggling in a recession? They can, in effect, create new money out of thin air to inject into the financial system, hoping to stimulate spending and investment. This is often called quantitative easing. Is the economy running too hot with prices rising too quickly? They can try to remove money from the system or raise interest rates to cool down inflation. This flexibility is the main argument in favor of a fiat system. It allows a government to actively manage its economy, responding to crises in real time, rather than being constrained by its physical gold reserves. But this incredible power comes with a critical, ever-present risk: the temptation to create too much money. When a government can create currency at will, there's always a political incentive to spend more than you take in through taxes. This can lead to a steady increase in the money supply that outpaces the growth of actual goods and services in the economy. The result? Inflation. Each individual dollar, pound, or euro becomes worth a little bit less. Your purchasing power slowly erodes over time. What you could buy with $100 10 years ago, you can't buy today. That's the inherent risk of a system based on trust rather than a physical anchor. So let's boil it down. What is the core, fundamental difference? Gold-backed money has intrinsic value. Its worth is tied to a real, scarce, physical asset. Fiat money, on the other hand, has relative value. Its worth is based entirely on trust in the issuing authority and the stability of the system. Let's use an analogy. A gold-backed currency is like owning the deed to a house. The deed is a piece of paper, but it represents a real, physical, valuable asset. A fiat currency is more like a ticket to a concert. The ticket itself is just paper, but it's valuable as long as you trust the band will show up and play. If the band cancels, or if everyone loses faith they'll perform, the ticket becomes worthless. The gold standard represented a system of stability, but it was also rigid. It acted as a financial anchor, keeping things steady but also limiting a government's ability to maneuver during economic emergencies. It was difficult to quickly expand the money supply to fight off a deep recession, for example. The fiat system, which we live in today, is a system of immense flexibility, but also potential instability. It's like a financial engine that can be turbocharged to power through tough times, but it also runs the constant risk of overheating and breaking down. It's a trade-off, and it's a big one. One system prioritizes long-term stability and the preservation of value, while the other prioritizes short-term flexibility and economic management. Understanding this historic shift and this fundamental trade-off between a rigid, stable anchor and a flexible, powerful engine is arguably the most important concept in modern economic history. It's the story of how our entire modern financial world was born, and it explains so much about the headlines we read every single day, from inflation reports to interest rate decisions. It's not just abstract theory. It shapes the value of your savings, the cost of your groceries, and the health of the global economy. Are you curious about the dramatic political events and economic pressures that led President Nixon to finally sever the dollar's last link to gold in 1971? It's a fascinating story of international intrigue and financial crisis. To learn the full story of why the world left the gold standard, make sure to watch our in-depth documentary right here on the channel. We go deep into the history and the consequences. Thank you so much for joining us on Historic Economics. If you found this explanation helpful and want more quick dives into the economic forces that shape our world, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. We'll see you in the next one.